This is 7 National News, and in our top story. The UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, has announced the forming of the UAE Gender Balance Council, a federal entity chaired by the President of Dubai Women's Establishment, Her Highness Sheikha Manal bint Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the wife of the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Presidential Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The new body aims to boost the UAE's efforts to evolve and enhance women's role as key partners in building the future of the nation. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed announced the formation of the council while visiting toward gender balance in governments, a plenary session chaired by Her Highness Sheikha Manal bint Mohammed during the second day of the government summit in Dubai. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed was accompanied by His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Maktoum bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Deputy Ruler of Dubai, and His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Chairman of the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Foundation. The ruler of Dubai stated that the United Arab Emirates seeks to enable and empower women, adding that what we had discussed in this session will not end here. Her Highness Sheikh Manal said that Sheikh Mohammed has always been a strong defender of women's rights, believed in her capabilities, and viewed her as an original element in UAE's formula for development. The President of the Dubai Women's Establishment asserted that the work will commence immediately to draft and articulate the new Council's frameworks, processes and strategies towards achieving the aspiring vision of our leadership. His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasimi, member of the Supreme Council and ruler of Sharjah, officially opened the 17th National Career Exhibition and the 11th edition of the International Education Show. His Highness Sheikh Al Qasimi toured the Careers Fair, where around 50 establishments from both government and private sectors have offered a variety of full-time and internship opportunities for UAE nationals. The ruler of Sharjah also visited the 3-day education show, where a number of local and foreign educational institutions are exhibiting to interact with students and discuss their course choices. Much of the focus during the opening day was for local institutions and foreign universities with their campuses based in the UAE, and organizers say that the UAE remains one of the least expensive destinations in the world. According to the findings of a recent study conducted by HSBC, the cost of studying in the UAE is around $27,375 per year, which also includes living expenses. The UAE remains a popular destination for students, as according to a report by UNESCO Institute of Statistics, the country has around 34,122 overseas students studying here, while 7,719 students from the UAE are pursuing education abroad. Another major trend is for students to begin their initial years in the country and go abroad for their penultimate years, according to a representative from the Canadian University in Dubai.
It happens on a yearly basis, but we can say that every semester we do have students coming in according to the exchange program, living in Dubai, experiencing life here, experiencing the environment and the versatility of it. And we do have students who are actually from the Middle East or from UAE, going to Canada and spending a whole semester or even 2 semesters there, experiencing how it is like in Canada. At CUD, we offer them 2 years in one of our partnership universities in Canada. So actually, they get the best of both worlds. They get the best of the East and the West, and they embrace cultures. They open up to different nationalities, different versatile opportunities here and back there.
Emiratization was at the top of the agenda for many exhibitors taking part in the Careers Fair, with a large presence of major financial institutions. Many of the participants from the finance industry have offered a number of career choices across all departments for both university and high school graduates. According to the HR official from Sharjah Islamic Bank, staff retention due to a competitive job market remains a challenge, and that they're targeting fresh graduates to maintain their current Emirati workforce level at 40%.
Sharjah Islamic Bank target is to retain the existing people by involving them in more training career programs. This is one. Plus of that, any numbers who's leaving SIB, we feel it is okay to bring new, fresh people to again put them in training programs. So it is like a continuous service community job we can do it for the UAE. There's quite critical roles actually in banking sector where we are lacking of UAE national. One of them is risk management. And we do have some programs that we can bring people UAE national with certain qualification, and we put them on an incentive training program for 2 to 3 years just to be ready to hold a risk management position available in the bank.
The United Nations World Food Programme today has thanked the UAE's International Humanitarian City for a $1 million contribution that helped WFP feed 30,000 Syrian refugees living in camps in Jordan during the month of January as they faced a severe snowstorm. The donation came as part of a UAE nationwide fundraising campaign to increase the support to those affected by the blizzards hitting the region. The WFP has an innovative system for the provision of emergency food assistance to Syrian refugees. Instead of giving them food, WFP provides electronic vouchers that work like debit cards, allowing refugees to buy the food that they need from supermarkets built inside the camps. So far in 2015, the WFP is providing monthly food assistance to about 7 million Syrians in need, of which 4.5 million are in Syria and about 2.6 million in Lebanon, Jordan, Turkey, Iraq and Egypt. The agency requires immediately a total of $215 million to support its ongoing operations in Syria and neighbouring countries during the coming months. The UAE government has continuously shown its solidarity with the plight of the Syrian people. In 2014, it made a generous contribution of $31 million towards WFP emergency humanitarian operations for the Syria crisis. In a major announcement, the UAE government has revealed plans to reward innovations in artificial intelligence and robotics, announcing a prize of $1 million for the best innovators. The government is inviting individuals, companies and students to participate in the UAE Robot and Artificial Intelligence for Good Award, which will take applicants in two categories, local and international. Inventions can aim at improvements in education, healthcare and social services. Announcing the initiative, His Excellency Mohammed Abdullah Al-Gargawi, the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, stated that innovation is the future and that wherever we are today, it is because of innovation. The Minister further added that fostering innovation in the UAE is part of a larger nationwide strategy. Building on the success of the Drones for Good Award, which is now the largest drone competition in the world with 800 participants from 57 countries, the new competition will encourage people to explore robotics and its use for improving human life. Collaborating with leading robotic experts, further announcements are expected to provide more clarity on the rules and regulations, with a website featuring details of the award and categories to be launched next week. The UAE is drawing up regulations and developing recycling facilities for the disposal of electronic waste to curb the widespread practice of throwing potentially hazardous phones, computers and other electronic products out with regular garbage. The term electronic waste or e-waste can include almost all kinds of electrical and electronic equipment. E-waste contains a number of substances that can be hazardous to human health through the inhalation of toxic fumes or the build-up of harmful substances in water, soil or food sources. Other e-waste components such as lead, cadmium and mercury are dangerous to come into direct contact with. As the lifespan of computers and mobile phones has dropped over time, the amount of electronic waste generated around the world has dramatically risen, with statistics showing that in 2012, the world collectively generated approximately 49 million metric tons of e-waste, about 43 kilograms for each of the world's inhabitants. According to global statistics compiled by various agencies through the Solving the E-Waste Problem initiative in 2012, the last year for which data is available, the UAE generated 29.28 kilograms of e-waste per inhabitant, a total of 162.11 metric tons. Habiba Al-Marashi, the chairwoman of the Emirates Environmental Group, said the relative wealth of the UAE means that the country generates a high volume of e-waste compared to most countries globally. Currently, no firm rules or regulations are in place for the disposal of electronic goods in the UAE, But despite the lack of regulations, various municipalities in the UAE periodically run programs in which discarded electronic products such as computers are collected and recycled. Additionally, the government has held a number of conferences to discuss e-waste management and is working with the EEG and a number of private-run recycling facilities to raise awareness on the issue. And Dubai Police have decided to showcase its fleet of luxury cars in action on the city's key roads by releasing an 88-second promotional video posted on the force's YouTube channel. The nighttime video, titled Luxurious Super Patrol Cars for a Luxurious City, begins with a wide-angle shot of the brightly lit emirate and gradually hones in on the vehicles whizzing through the city, where the cars are shown maneuvering among one another in a display of technical driving on Mohammed bin Zayed Boulevard, before coming to a halt in front of the Dubai Mall and Dubai Fountain. So far, the video has proved a hit, with online viewers already having gathered over 200,000 views since being released a day ago. The Dubai Police have said that the fleet of luxury cars were purchased in order to promote the image of the authorities and to encourage the public to interact with the police. The fleet includes vehicles such as a McLaren MP4 12C, Aston Martin 177, Audi R8s, Bugatti Veyron, Lamborghini Aventador, Ferrari FF and Bentley Continental GT. Dubai Police Chief Major General Khamis Al-Mazina said the fleets of cars is used to patrol heritage sites as well as other places frequented by tourists. And finally, in the bulletin, Dubai Mall has retained its title as the world's most visited lifestyle destination, welcoming over 80 million visitors last year. The visitor numbers recorded in the mall were more than double footfall figures from its nearest rival, Times Square in New York City, which reported 39.2 million. Other in the list include Niagara Falls, Central Park in New York, Union Station, Washington, D.C., Disney World's Magic Kingdom in Florida, and the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Mohammed Al-Abbar, the chairman of malls operator Imam Malls, said that the numbers represent another historic milestone for Dubai, adding that no other global tourist destination, including airports, which traditionally have the highest footfall, have achieved the significant visitor arrivals that Dubai Mall has recorded.